Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Nigeria Now, the program where we concentrate on some of the issues and as well some of the sectors in Nigeria: business, education, health. And just like every other day, today we'd love to touch a little of other sector. Maybe let's look at what is happening concerning the World Drug Day that happened yesterday, where we're seeing the president has promised to support NDLEA as they fight illicit drugs as well as drug abuse. And as well, we're seeing that presently there is a NEC meeting going on where we'll have the governors meeting to discuss. Part of their agenda will be on the local government autonomy as well as the minimum wage. I am Stella Elisha Dasham and I'll bring the program with Rachel Tanzi. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Sarah. I'm fine, and you?
I'm great, thank you so much. All right, remember you can be part of the conversation. Drop your comment, drop your views concerning any of the matter we will be bringing to the table this afternoon. And let us start with the president promising to support drug war. We started the conversation in the morning because we know that yesterday was the World Drug Day, where it's been set aside to talk about the issue of illicit drugs that is in distribution everywhere, as well as the fact that the abuse of drugs is on an increase. And no wonder I feel that is where the theme for the year came up with, such as talking about the fact that the evidence is clear, therefore there is a need for prevention. And this is something that is not just about Nigeria, but it's about the world entirely, where there is a need to invest in prevention of illicit drugs. And they're talking about even drug trafficking and a number of things that has to do with substance abuse and all of that. And, you know, someone will possibly ask, I mean, of course, as a president, you should support the issue because, I mean, I think yesterday or so was when we saw in the paper a snake route was being made for them to be able in Nigeria. So you could tell that they are looking for means, talking about the bigger body, you know, the drug barons and all of that. But then you made a very important point whereby let's not even look at the bigger picture. Let's start from the little ones, from the family roles that parents, community, and everybody have to play concerning this fight of drug abuse. And then we also issue out the fact that, you know what, looking at the number of people who are into drugs, you could tell that that might be the reason why we're having more number of people roaming the street, because not everybody can afford to be in the rehabilitation. We know how expensive rehab can be. So, I mean, you can't choose to follow your friend because he might be privileged to be in the rehab, but how about you become a nuisance and then causing trouble everywhere? So I think this is something that the government needs to give their all. It shouldn't just be a fight that is set aside just because it's a World Drug Day, but it should be a fight that should start every day. Of course, we see them in our community talking about the NDLEA trying their best to check in the hideouts, looking at teenagers and all of that. But I think this is far beyond that. We've seen hectares of land where weed are being planted, cannabis, the likes of it. So this is really a fight that, you know, we shouldn't just leave to the government, I believe, but we're looking forward to seeing where individuals, NGOs as well can join in this fight concerning drug abuse.
I mean, when the president says he promised to support drug war, and then my question is, Mr. President, how do you plan on doing this support? Because NDLEA is already a government agency. It's already, it gets its funding either way from the federal government and all of that. And you might just want to ask, how do you want to step in, promise to help them with this drug war? Are you going to increase what they get as tools and as devices to fight these things? Yes, absolutely. We saw where in the SEC meeting there is going to be allowance money have been agreed and permitted for them to be able to have access to certain devices, tools, resources that will be able to make detecting drugs and all of that easier. And it's kudos, because you know what? This is where I believe that the government will step in. That is where the president can truly step in helping NDLEA really wage this war against drug effectively. So, of course, it boils down to funding. You understand? It's funding. So, like the same way we're going to talk about the army, is the same way we're going to talk about any agency that is in need of an upgrade, is the funding. And then when we talk about drug war, we have also talked about how the community plays a role. So, Mr. President, how are you planning to help a common Nigerian? And we can say, you know what, making certain things available making certain things available. It starts with our hospitals and all of that. You made mention of rehabilitation, for example. It's expensive because these services are not found in the government hospitals as they should. Adequate, good ones that can give results. So we boost that sector, we boost that department rather in the hospitals, in the federal hospitals, and we can also bring that down to state government. But since this is a statement from the president, let's focus at the federal hospitals, that is the ones that deal directly with the federal government. So how do you come in and help Nigerians? We've stated how you can help the NDLEA. Now, how do you help a common man? Is rehabilitation and making these centers available at the government-owned hospitals so that that underprivileged child whose parents can afford to take them to a rehab center will not be on the street. They can't be on the street, Sele. Do you know? Because they are also dangerous to us. I'll put it that way. They are not only harmful to themselves, they are harmful to you, a common person, a good, clean citizen moving around. So we can't even have them on the street. Whether or not they come from a family that can afford certain care or not, I believe is a responsibility of the government to take off those that are on the street. And this is how I believe that the president can step in to help fight this war on drug. And then we can't stop overemphasizing on the fact that the community is the family. So what are you doing as a parent? What are you doing as a sister, as a brother, as a neighbor, as an uncle? What are you doing as a community chief? What are you doing as the vigilante of that community? What are you doing as a business owner in that community? I know we get to the point where we give excuses that, you know what, we are surviving, and we sell these things to teenagers out there and people, and you see it because we have the excuse, the moral excuse of saying country hard and all of that. But you see, it's not an excuse. You are nothing but a criminal, because you know what, even in well-doing countries that their economy is okay, GDP great, and the unemployment rate is not as much as ours, they still go into drug trafficking and all of that. So it tells you that it's nothing but a criminal affairs, that even if we are in Nigeria and our GDP is exceptional and perhaps our unemployment rate is just as 3% out of our over 200 million population, it means we'll still have people selling it, because it's easy money, it sweeps in a lot of money and all of that. So it's just criminal. You don't have any excuse to say that you're trying to keep your head above water and that's why you're selling drugs. So let's fight it as a community. Don't keep quiet and just let people do whatever they want to, because in the end, it is your family that is going to be at the detriment of all that is happening around you.
You know, Rachel, while you were talking, something just dropped on my mind, is the fact that if we're looking at being serious about fighting this drug, and I know that part of the things that the government is planning to do is to bring in drug testing kits, so that you'll be able to test it. Now let's talk about, I know that this kit might not be enough to go around every hospital or every home or every school, because whether we like it or not, most of these teenagers spend more time in school than they spend at home. So we need to look for a way to make sure that this is being taught even at schools. They need to know how people come in, how people can influence them, how to say no to certain big boys and big girls that will actually tell you, help me buy it, and then when you buy it, because we know that this thing is even illegal, Rachel. You don't get it directly. It's illegal. But you can't go to the farmers and say, give me this particular Tramon, and you should be giving it. Of course not. You'll be asked if there are certain drugs we know that without a prescription, you will not be given. So we know that there are certain drastic measures that we need to take if we are serious as a country to fight it. And just like you said, homes and rehabilitation. And for you out there, you know your parents who cannot afford to send you to the rehab. So just help the country, help your parents, and help yourself as well to stay away from this issue of drug. You might just think that you're taking a little for today, but believe you me, you never can tell how far it can take you. So I hope that this will be a lesson to everybody as we look forward to seeing other measures that the government will put in place to help. Now we're seeing that the NEC meeting that's talking about the National Executive Council meeting. I mean, the governors were already in Abuja as of yesterday, and so the president wasn't there because he needed to pay a condolence visit to the vice president that lost his mom. And we know that the vice president most time is the one who chair the NEC meeting, but then because of what happened to him, the president will be there himself to actually grace that meeting. And we know this is a meeting that we barely see the president being there. So and we know that part of the thing that will be, or the top agenda, I believe, will be on how they can look into how can we come up with the issue of minimum wage, because I think that is the burden that is on the mind of every Nigerian governor presently. And we're seeing that the likes of Kwara State, we know that the governor is actually the chairman, Nigerian Governors Forum, so he will be there. And then a number of all the 36 governors, as well as even the FCT minister, will be present there because it's something they need to discuss, as well as the local government autonomy. I just can't wait to see or to hear what will be the outcome of that meeting, because this is more like the backbone of what will happen to Nigerian civil servants eventually after this meeting. And then will the local government now be independent to take decision? These are questions that Nigerians are asking. So let us hope that this will be the forum for the president to consult widely, as he said he will, concerning how much the new minimum wage will be. As we are seeing, governors are promising us, you know what, we are going to treat you guys well, we're going to treat Nigerians well, don't worry, we're going to pay you a minimum wage that is befitting. So I think right now all fingers are crossed to see or to wait and hear what will be the outcome of the NEC meeting today.
I think this NEC meeting is more of just decision making, like tough decision making, because I kept saying it, the president can use the word consultation, but we already know what it entails at the end of the day for the Nigerians, because you know what? There's no consultation anymore. It's more of what is your decision? What are you going to tell Nigerians that the minimum wage will be? Because we had this conversation yesterday concerning the minimum wage. Who are you going to consult with? It's the same people that were in the previous committee. We know what the private sector are saying concerning it. We know what Labour is standing at. We know what the state government are. It's about making decisions. I believe that this NEC meeting is just basically coming to a conclusion and deciding. So it's going to be a tough one because Nigerians are waiting on you to say something. We've seen comments such as NECA saying that, you know what, anything above 62,000 will crumble the economy and all of that. We need to see statistics, that truly it will crumble the economy. We need to. It's important. And I believe that this is where, as far as I'm concerned, that the federal government is failing Nigerians and Labour entirely. What can you afford and what can't you? Nobody is doing that. Not even the state governors are doing that. What can you and what can you not afford? And you bring out numbers, okay? In 16 states in the country, this is their revenue generation. This is their FAAC allocation. This is their debt profile. For so state, averagely, minimally, blah, 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 you go. In that way, for this 16 states with this, and that, this is how much they can pay. Okay, we have 5 states that can do this. When you come out, as far as I'm concerned, with this kind of statistics, I believe now you will put Nigerians, right, in the position where they will even reason with you, Sele. For me, I believe that's so, because by the time you're bringing me numbers and statistics and saying, okay, you know what, this is how much we earn, this is what we, and truly speaking, honestly, this is, as a civil servant, I might start saying, well, it's true. I mean, it's like, oh, the federal government cannot pay us 250. Let's just accept 80,000. I'm just saying this on the lighter note because this is important, because I can't stop saying if Labour is able to give you a breakdown and say this is the current cost of living in the country, and we believe that based on that, this is what is due as a new minimum wage in this country. I think you owe such kind of explanation, even if not for Labour, but for Nigeria. But I think the government cannot do that because they know what they can afford. But they just want a safe net. regarding minimum wage. As far as I'm concerned, they just want a safe net. Not like the Nigerian government cannot pay 200,000 minimum wage, said that they can. But I think everybody is looking for a safe net. What is a safe net? And I believe this is where they don't see eye to eye with Labour, because Labour is saying, you know what, we don't care about your safety net. But the federal government is trying to say, okay, we are looking forward to a safety net based on how things are. I think that is the problem we have at the moment. But regardless, I'm just hoping, because 62,000 will not crash the economy. It will not. And it is too small for a minimum wage. It is nothing compared to how can you go for 62,000 naira, which is barely up to $100, when we are looking at an exchange rate that is over 1,000 naira. We're looking at 1,400 or thereabout. It is not rational in any way. And then I just hope that in the end, the federal government comes out with something reasonable enough for not only Labour to agree, but for the entire citizens to reason with them. Yeah.
You know, you're right. You spoke well, Rachel, because I think this is really a time, as far as I'm concerned, the federal government have nothing to do with this next meeting. Right now, it's for the governors to tell us, okay, the federal government have been talking all this while. What are you saying as the Nigerian governors? What are people saying? How much can you afford? We've had a number of, just like you rightly mentioned, we had a number of governors coming out to say we can't pay beyond 62,000. As well, we've had other states that even gone ahead to start paying 70,000 or 80,000. We've had states that even while it was 30,000 minimum, we're paying above that. We've had states such as that. So, of course, every state with their strength, but then you need to come to an understanding to say, okay, how much? I believe that Nigerians do not want to hear decentralized payment. No, I cannot hear that my brother working in Lagos is receiving 70,000 minimum wage, and I'm still here in Plateau State receiving 80,000. It's not going to work. Definitely, I know this is what Nigerians will not accept, but I believe that this is the time for the governors to be honest and be truthful. This is where Nigerians will test and know if you truly have them in mind while taking decision. Because believe you me, whatever the outcome of the next meeting will be today, will actually tell whether it's going to make or merit Nigeria eventually. Because I believe that it's not about what the president is going to say, but what are our governors saying. Because we are closer to them. Actually, I have easy access to my governor than the president. I will barely see the president. But of course, it will take me up to 3 to 4 trips at most to go to the government house and say, this is what is happening to me, and whether the governor want to see me or not, I can decide to make a drama because I need him to hear my voice. So I'm hoping, I'm not saying we should go create any drama in any government house, but I'm saying we are closer and he relate and they relate as well. So I'm hoping, let us just wait. I'm giving them the benefit of that, Rachel. So let's just wait and hear what the outcome of the meeting will be. Then we'll pick it up from there. Now, just to round up the show, we know that we've been talking about cholera, the outbreak, what should be done. It seems as if the death toll is increasing and all of that. But then we're seeing that the federal government is out to get some, vaccine to see how people can actually get vaccinated to protect them. And I know I said that was it 2 days back or so, the fact that I'm worried because even the vaccine is not made available to public hospitals but private hospitals. And I was expecting to hear that it's starting from the government hospital precisely so that everybody can have access to it. I mean, you could just like we said, out of the over 200 million Nigerians, Rachel, everybody have more than 2 cats in one private hospital or a public hospital.
True.
There's no how you say you do not have a handcuff in public hospital in your state, and that would be easier. Even going down to even our primary health clinics, I think we should even start from there because people will have easy access to it. So I do not know how much of the vaccine the government will be getting, but I'm hoping that this vaccine will be able to go around, and especially I am just hoping that it's going to start from the rural areas, because we know that those are the people that don't really have safe drinking water. So maybe the government should start from there. While we are bringing the vaccine, also work towards making sure that they are available good drinking water, because being vaccinated would not stop you from falling ill to other things such as typhoid and the likes of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing beyond, going for a shopping spree for a vaccine. We should see the government being, concerned about what can we do that after this year we'll not come back to the same issue of cholera outbreak again next year, because we didn't do what we are expected to do. So I think this is what I believe Nigerians are looking forward to concerning the issue of the cholera outbreak presently.
Stella, you'll agree with me that this shortage in vaccine or scarcity of vaccine is just as a result of nobody restocking since after the last outbreak for 2023. Because we've said it countless times that it has a season, and there's no year where there haven't been any raining season or so. So what does it mean? It shows that since 2023, after the few cholera outbreak for last year, these vaccines were not restocked for the coming year, which is the year we're in now, 2024. And then my concern is that, okay, we are not putting our minds right toward the things that are important, because we know it comes and go. Now, for us to have a shortage, Sele, it means that in the first place, there was not even enough from the previous year, because this is not the worst cholera outbreak we've had. Is the number much? Yes, but the death toll are less. I know there was I can't put a specific date, but I know that there was once a cholera outbreak that even many cases here on the plateau, and it was in virtually every state.
Sure.
And the numbers were alarming and high. You could literally know of someone who was infected by cholera, and even one or two dead cases like that is not as high as the previous. And then for us now to be here and saying that there is a shortage of vaccines, and then you see, Sele, it just shows that someone somewhere is not taking procurement seriously in the health sector, and then we are lacking the things that we are not supposed to, because this number is not outrageous for us to say that we do not have enough vaccines to go around. I'm not trying to say 1,500 is a small number, no, but compared to the cases we've had in the past, this is not much compared to the outbreak we've had in the past. So it kind of shows negligence on the side of the government regarding this. And the thing about it is like, looking at how everything is going, it will be difficult for you to put your hands on quality and vaccination at the moment now, because now it's a rush hour kind of, it's an emergency demand. Yes, so we might not put our hands on the on the quality one, and then we have complained about substandard goods. We saw where Son is talking about a lot of imported things into the country as substandard. Whether we like it or not, we might find ourselves handling substandard medications for cholera and even the vaccine. So I just hope that because now the sad part is that this patient can't wait 2-3 weeks before a vaccine arrives. That's the problem. It's kind of a too late problem as it is now, because someone now is going to die because of this shortage. And we will say that the number is not too much to say a whole country cannot take care of over this number of people when it comes to an outbreak. Let's wake up and do due diligence when it comes to dealing with the health sector in this Nigeria. No wonder you would see our doctors leaving because if vaccines for something like cholera is not available, imagine other bigger things that are not available for our doctors to work with. If I am a doctor, I don't think I want to find myself in a situation where I can't help my patients.
You know, Richard, because looking at it, just like you said, I'm even looking at the bigger picture entirely. We've been talking here the fact that our health sector is crumbling every day.
Yeah.
And this just exposes that, Rachel, which you said, are we not supposed to have had this vaccine? Even if nobody falls victim, it should be in the fridge.
It should be, exactly.
We should just have it well kept, you know,
Yes.
somewhere, so you never can tell in a year, maybe 1 or 2 people, and then silently it's been taken care of.
Exactly.
It doesn't even need to make it to the people. That is to show that this is a country that is ready for whatever comes on it. But I mean, over the years we've seen where, I mean, Rachel, we have times where you have a loved one in the hospital, and then even just to have the IV that's been, injected. They don't have it. So
Yeah.
you have to go look for it. There are certain drugs that we saw that, I think this week or last week, where there are certain drugs that are not even available in the hospital. You need to go outside
Yeah.
to look for it. Let's not even talk about our multinational pharmaceutical companies that have left Nigeria. So it's very difficult for you to even get all of this things. So we are looking forward to seeing the government giving top priority to health sector. We've been saying this, we're not going to stop talking, because it is our responsibility
It is.
to bring this to the attention of the government, that, you know what, wake up, our health sector is dying. And if we don't do something about this, we never can tell what will be the next outbreak we'll be
Yeah.
faced with. So I hope that the government will, work on it, and then I hope that the vaccine gets to Nigeria as soon as possible, so we could save more lives. Well, thank you, Rachel, for doing this with
You're
me.
welcome, Celia.
All right, thank you to our viewers, and we are happy to be here. We hope to do this again tomorrow. Please, to have a great day ahead.